Hello there. This is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com. Thank you for joining me today. That is the card that we will be making. We're going to be doing a little bit of masking and some coloring with colored pencils. And you saw the dimension that masking can give you. That's a one-layer card. We have our balmy blue card base and then just a piece of regular Whisper White cardstock on top of it. That is the inside of the card, where I introduced some cherry cobbler, because that's the color of the flower on the outside. We're going to be using the Lily Pad Lake bundle, and that was the stamp set. Those are the dies. This is a top folding A2 card. That is Pineapple Punch, Memento Tuxedo Black, and we have Balmy Blue. So the very first thing I want to do is introduce you to masking paper. And we don't carry it. I got that at a craft store. And it's just a piece of paper with some temporary adhesive on the back that you can draw onto, cut it out, and you're going to see me use it with die cuts right now. So I have a small piece right there, and I want to mask that lily pad. So I'm going to take out the die cut that would normally cut out that image that you saw and cut out the masking paper. The blue is the back because that's what I'm going to peel off to use, but we'll get there in a minute. I have my sentiment on my Whisper White cardstock. I'm laying it down 3 times because, I like my sentiments very crisp with Memento Tuxedo Black, and that panel is 4 by 5 1/4. All the measurements, everything will be in the YouTube description and over at cindybdesigns.com. That is the water image. I lined it up on there to where it covered the cardstock all the way. So I peeled that blue mask off the back, and I know that I have to stamp that watery image twice, and I want the mask to halfway in between them, basically. So I got the mask down, and it'll stick. You can use, and I'm going to be inking this up twice, you can use copy paper, a post-it note, anything. This is just very convenient for me. And they have those sticky notes to where they have full adhesive on the back now too. It's strong adhesive and they're pretty costly, so you might want to take that into consideration. I did not pay too much attention to my lining up there, so I'm kind of double stamped in some spots, but you know what? Water is not perfect. I am good with it. I'm pulling off the mask. It's been through about 5 different states with me. Normally it comes off easier, and it left that white spot in there. And I sized up that stamp, but this was my 3rd time doing this on film, so I got smart and got some vellum paper, had some holes in it, found some copy paper, laid it underneath that, and I'm kind of using that sort of like a stamp-a-majig to see, am I going to blow it again for a 4th time? And I didn't. So I messed with it a little bit, got everything lined back up, and it's going down in the right spot. And there we go. And it makes it look like it's on top or behind, depending on what kind of image you have. This one looks more towards the forefront. I meant to say like forefront or behind. So the bird, what you want to do is get his feet close to the lily pad, not close, lined up, aligned with it, so it looks cohesive in that it flows. So again, both of them are down in Memento Tuxedo Black, double stamp them. And now we are moving on to the sun. My sun is different in this one. In the first one, I did Daffodil Delight, and this one I'm doing the Pineapple Punch. It is bright. I'm not a real fan of this color, but it worked. So I have a sponge dauber that has some leftover crushed curry on it, and it worked. And it goes outside the line, but you know, that's okay. So my colored pencils are basic gray. I went down way too hard on this image. You can just see how dark I'm putting down that color, and it's going to blow up in my face when I blend it out, and you'll see it. That is Garden Green, and I went way lighter on this, as you can tell, and I go in circular motions. They're either super short or I pull them out a little bit, and I'm just laying that color down. Once that gets done, I am going to pull in some Flirty Flamingo. So I start coloring that, and I realize, oh, once I get that solution in there from the blender pen, it is not going to work. So I got some El Mambo and then went back over it, and that's what that looks like. So there's the blender pen. Do you necessarily need this? No. Do you want it? Yes. The convenience. You can use baby oil and a pointy Q-tip, Gamsol solution that you can pick up at a craft store with a paper blending stump. This just makes it so much easier. And what I'm doing is I'm smoothing out the color on the image so you don't see those lines that you normally would with colored pencils or crayons or anything. And then I'm scribbling it out, as you just saw, on some post-it paper. And I was turning the pen at the same time to get it all out. So now I'm watching the basic gray just kind of blow up on me, and I'm not willing to do this for a fourth time. And I'm winging it, and I'm making it work, and I can live with it. So I pulled that color out, and now I'm just smoothing out the Garden Green. And you can go over the black ink. Do I like to? No, because can it smear? Yes. Even though when it's dry, it can. That's why I'm showing you where you can take an old olive. I took an old olive colored pencil. I colored it on top, blended it out, so you can still keep piling on the color on top if you need to. So we're in the home stretch now. I am just laying some snail down on the back of our panel, and I'm putting that onto the Balmy Blue card base, and we are done. And there's our comparisons. On the left, I used Cherry Cobbler and Old Olive and Daffodil Delight, and on the right, we've been through those colors. Chelsey, email me for last week's prize. This is this week's Enjoy Life, which I used for April's video on that tag, the last week in April. So thank you for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Have a great weekend.